Hello friends, Neutral Item Yoinker here, bringing you another Dota 2 video on behalf of Dota Alchemy, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at patch 7.23c and doing a bit of an analysis. Okay, so general, we have Outpost XP has been reduced from 25 per minute to 18. Much needed. It probably needs to get nerfed even more because everybody in pro level pubs and in pro matches, they're playing around the outposts entirely. Games aren't ending even with like 10 to 15k gold leads because people realize if you just hold the outposts for, I don't know, 3 or 4 intervals, you are guaranteed to have such a level advantage that you're not going to lose ever. So I definitely think this is a good start, but it probably needs to continue to get nerfed because outposts, they're already cool. They're already interesting with the map control they provide. But the XP, man, it's a lot. Okay, level 10 XP talents reduced, level 15 XP talents reduced, and they've all been set to 20% and 35%. So speaking of XP, this has been one of the biggest determining factors for what heroes are strong right now, simply because the level 30 talents are insane. And Outpost XP is insane. So these heroes that have 20% or whatever XP at level 10, they're way too strong. So these nerfs are definitely much needed. I could even see these getting totally removed. Glyph duration on creeps has been reduced from 7 to 4. I see this as a change so that when you're pushing, you can't just glyph the creeps to respond to the glyph of the towers, because why would they add multi-shot to the towers on glyph and then it just, you know, in response, there's another glyph. It feels like they added that multi-shot to make it easier to defend. So that's what I see this as. Innate damage block now works against player units again. Innate damage block from 100% for 8 block to 50% for 16 block. So back to like what Stout Shield was. Innate damage block no longer stacks with other damage block instances. So like Vanguard, Crimson Guard, things like that. Okay, so it's kind of back to old Stout Shield. So you can get lucky, which is interesting. Dota definitely needs more RNG right now, so that's good. That's a-okay. Courier items that are locked will no longer be delivered or returned to stash. That's just a quality of life improvement for the level 25 couriers. And also just the neutral items in general. Courier base movement speed has been increased from 275 to 280. This is another one of those things that I think it's a start, but it probably needs to be buffed even more because courier sniping is so ridiculously good right now. In fact, it's like the sole reason Nature's Prophet is an S tier hero. So probably want to bump this up a few more notches here. Neutral items no longer roll if there's an enemy killer within 600 AoE of the dying unit. This is hilarious. I'm glad they changed this. I was tweeting about this. I was playing in the open qualifiers. In the last 3 games that I played, some poor support walked up to me and try to steal a neutral creep. And they did. They got the gold for it. So it's like, oh man, that sucks. I wish I got the gold. And then boom, an item drops. 3 games in a row. So the enemy team from 5 to 15 minutes has only 2 items because I yoinked it. And then I have 4 items on my team. So it's a lot easier to win Dota when you're sitting on possibly thousands of gold worth of extra items just because you're snagging them. So this was a good change. I don't think they intended for people to just snipe each other's items in the first place, so it makes a lot of sense. Boots of Travel now has the same 6-second teleportation delay when teleporting to outposts. Now, I think that Boots of Travel are still going to be a really good item. One of the best things about them was the fact that they had such a low duration in TPing to those outposts. So it was very hard against a bots hero to try to just go and sneak an outpost, which means if you have a lead, you're going to keep it. But with that being said, I do believe that you can just push the waves out with the Boots of Travel, and you don't need to TP to the outpost because you could TP to the creeps if you're doing a good job at pushing the waves out. So I think it's a much needed nerf, but with that being said, it's not a big nerf. You just need to play around the outpost a little bit better with those creeps. Bracer, recipe cost reduced. People are not really going bracers, they're going bucklers and bassies and these small items that build into the bigger, more death bally aura items. Bracer doesn't build into anything other than the new neutral item, but you're hoping on RNG that you get it. So buffing these items is definitely pretty necessary. Drum of Endurance, all stats reduced from 6 to 4. I personally think this item is kind of overrated. I think it's good, but the fact that everybody's getting it, a lot of these carries and Ursas and trolls and whatever, I think that it's very expensive. So this maybe not needed, but everybody's getting it, so it makes sense. Buckler, speaking of items that everybody is getting, I kind of skipped over it. 250 recipe cost to 300. This makes a lot of sense as well. Everybody's building Buckler. People are even starting Buckler. Just casual Buckler. It's the new Bassi. So Bassi needed to be nerfed, and if you have a new Bassi, that's going to need to be nerfed as well. Enchanted Quiver, bonus damage increased. My opinion on this item is that I pick it up. I don't really feel that excited when I get it because, I mean, it's interesting. Don't get me wrong. But it doesn't feel that good compared to a lot of the other items you can get, such as like a Helm of Undying. You get that. It's like, okay, we're going to win this next fight. Essence Ring. I like this. I like that they buffed this. 375 health increased to 425, and the cooldown was reduced. So there are certain heroes you get this, and it is very good, to be honest. But with that being said, it does cost a lot of mana for what it gives you currently. So these nerfs are welcome for sure. Greater Fairy Fire, charges increased from 2 to 3. I think this is great. Fairy Fire, it's a pretty good item, the Greater Fairy Fire, I should say. But it does suck that you can use it once, and then if you want that 30 damage, you have to hold the final Fairy Fire. So now you have too many cheeses, and then you can keep the last Fairy Fire until you're about to replace it, and that's going to last until, you know, it makes the item better, because it makes it so that the bridge where you're getting that item is going to last until you get another item. Grove Bow now provides 10 attack speed. Debuff duration has been reduced from 10 to 6. In my opinion, this is a pretty big buff to the item because people aren't really caring that much about the debuff from this, the magic amplification. It's more about the attack range. People are picking up on ranged heroes like Gyrocopter, Enchantress, something like that. So those heroes that already like it are going to like it more because of this attack speed. Havoc Hammer no longer increases BAT. Bonus damage reduced from 60 to 35. Okay, so this item, every single time it seems to drop, it doesn't really do enough that the heroes that are intended to get it want to pick it up. They don't want the BAT reduction for the damage it provides. And now, if there's a carry that has a slot, they can pick this up as kind of like a bridge item and then maybe give it to a support or something, as opposed to just giving it to supports, which is mostly what was happening before. Supports and offlanes, I should say. Illusionist Cape now provides 10 strength and 10 agility. I think this is a cool item. I think this item is underutilized. People are kind of lazy with the illusions, so it's good that it's buffed, but I think that this item is incredibly good. Imp Claw cooldown reduced, so it's been getting nerfed a little bit just because it was really good going into the late game, and now this is just something that's maybe you can use it like twice in a team fight instead of just once. This is going to make you farm faster, but the damage is not absolutely insane in the late game. Speaking of absolutely insane, this item has been broken since it was buffed to have this silence duration, I should say, since it was reworked. So 2-second silence, this is a big nerf. It probably doesn't suck. This is probably a good item, but nowhere near as good. Null Talisman got the Bracer treatment as well. Repair Kit now provides you a 13 health regen while carrying it. Everybody was backpacking this item, and it kind of feels like you would only really like to get a repair kit whenever you're in that situation where it's like, okay, let's wait for them to attack a tower, and then we'll turn the fight. But that's not every game, right? Like, you're not in that situation all the time, so sometimes it would be very underwhelming to get a repair kit. And with the 13 health regen, now you can give it to like an Undying or whatever, and they can get that health regen and be a little bit tankier actually holding the item. So it's a little bit less shit in those situations where you're not defending. Sentry Ward replenish interval has been reduced from 95 to 90. I find that, I mean, honestly, ever since they've been changing the sentries to have a cap in general, it seems like there's never any available. So this is great, especially on a new map where nobody knows where anybody is warding or where to ward. So this is great, especially with these invis heroes and techies and so forth. So good stuff. Silver Edge bonus damage increased from 36 to 40. Interesting, I'm not sure why. Telescope changed from a tier 4 to tier 3 item to kind of replace the utility of Third Eye. Third Eye was removed. Thank God for that. I think the item had like a 90 or 80% win rate, something ridiculously high. It's not okay to have a gem that you can't lose. Like, the reason gem is not considered absolutely broken is because it's like a rapier. You risk losing it to the enemy team, and there's a cooldown on it. It's not about the gold, and that's why wards can be free, because these items aren't about the gold, it's about the utility. So this was just besmirching that entire concept, and I'm glad that it was removed. A lot of pro players are complaining about this item. You get a Third Eye, and it can just be over for the enemy team. Vampire Fangs, a little bit of a buff. Interesting. Everybody's already... I mean, carries like to have this item in the first place, so it's interesting to see that that they buffed it. I did not expect that, if I'm being completely honest. Vlad's offering has been, recipe cost has been increased by 100. Everybody's building this item. Supports, position 4s, offlaners. Everybody's deathballing with this item, so it's good to see that it's nerfed. I'm not a huge fan of the deathball meta. Get to heroes. So we have Abaddon. Base int has been reduced by 3. Base damage has been reduced by 2. This hero's too good at laning. Now he has less damage for last hitting. Now he has less mana to spam the shield. I think that he probably needs to get nerfed a little bit more unless the deathball meta falls off, because he is so goddamn good at deathball, and he was already good in the previous patch. Bloodseeker, Blood Rage heal percentage has been reduced from 16 at level 1 to 13. This hero is one of the strongest carries in the game right now. As an offlaner, I'm sick of dealing with him. He seems like he's always race car mode, no matter what. I look at my team, nobody's low HP, and anyway, whatever, that's besides the point. 13% at level 1, good nerf because he does only put 1 point in the Blood Rage. Klink's Death Pact, the health gain has been increased. Nobody's really picking Klinks after the rework. I imagine this will probably continue to get buffed until people do start picking Klinks, but I'm not sure if this is enough. Crystal Maiden, Arcane Aura no longer provides magic resistance, which I don't know why it did in the first place. It just seemed kind of arbitrarily good. Crystal Nova cooldown has been reduced, however, so that you can spam it out a little bit more, which is, not all bad for Crystal Maiden players. Talents, level 15 talent has been changed from mana loss reduction to 10% magic resistance. Honestly, people weren't going for that talent, and I imagine they'll probably still go for the GPM instead, just because it's so much GPM. Enchantress, I'm a big Enchantress fan. I'm glad that they did this. Base movement speed has been increased. However, Sproink is a really dog Aghanim Scepter, and the base int being increased by 3 just means you get an extra heal in the lane. You can actually do 2 heals at level 1 with your full mana pool, which is cool, but I think this hero is still not that great and just a decent support. Jug, basically the Mario of Dota, he's been buffed. His base attack speed has been increased, which is cool as his BAT is really good. So attack speed being increased on him is excellent, especially because he's a hero that likes to build like phase boots, right? So any attack speed on a hero that likes to build phase boots is going to be great because it's just a raw damage item. Talents, more attack speed, cool. This hero is going to hit pretty quick. Kunkka, Torrent, slow duration has been reduced. That's good. This hero's been S tier for so long. He's probably still S tier. I don't think the Torrent slow is an important factor in its ability at all. Lone Druid, Summon Spirit Bear, base damage has been reduced by 5. I'm shocked that this is the only nerf that this hero has received. Okay, just makes his laning a little bit weaker. Magnus, Skewer, Scepter reduces mana cost by 50% rather than 100%. Thank God. Thank God. Thank Ice Frog for this. Good lord, what a hero. The cooldown has been increased, so huge nerfs to Magnus, and that is great because I honestly hated being skewered into the fountain from the mid lane. That was not great. Mars, Bulwark, front damage has been increased in the early levels, so now it's like a 1-point wonder. Side damage has been increased in the early levels, like doubled, almost doubled. That's crazy. I think this hero is actually pretty good, just because of the new Bulwark active that you can use to tank projectiles. I think that's a really cool ability, and the fact that you can now use your crit to set up for your spear because it slows. Like, this hero is good, man. This hero is good. Quote me on that. Medusa, Mana Shield Absorption has been increased pretty significantly, 10%. Stone Gaze movement speed bonus has been increased from 25 to 30%, 35%. This hero is probably a sleeper, bit of a sleeper, but I don't know, not yet. Something makes me feel like this isn't enough. She just was, people tried it, it didn't look too good, and these numbers don't look that good. Monkey King, base armor has been increased. I think this hero was already good. Jingu Mastery, damage talent to 15. Damn, it's been a long time since I've seen a Monkey King buff on the talent, so this is a lot of damage. I believe people go for the other one usually. I think it's like the tree jump distance, something like that. I'm not a monkey player, but I think people do go for the other talent, so just making that a little bit more balanced. Nature's Prophet, max base damage reduced by 4. Okay, so on that's just a base damage reduction, basically. Except it's on the max, so in the damage roll it can't go as high as what it used to by 4. Oracle base intelligence increased by 5. Spam up more stuff in the lane, more mana regen. This hero is very good at harassing in the lane, so this is a nice buff to him. Phoenix base armor increased by 1. It's a good hero. I think this hero is great. Puck base armor reduced by 2. Waning Rift damage reduced to 70 at level 1. That's not a big nerf. This is, though, for laning. I think this probably makes Puck a better mid laner because you're not really you know, the armor doesn't really matter for trading in the mid lane, but in the side lanes it does. Dream Coil level 1 scepter duration fixed to not be lower than the original. That makes sense. That sounds like a bug. Ricky, base movement speed has been increased. Now he's very speedy. Base HP regen has been increased. Might make him an offlaner if he can sit in lane and tank spells. Tricks of the Trade, damage has been increased pretty significantly. So in the early levels, it's going to do 70 damage. That seems pretty efficient. Shadow Fiend, strength gain has been increased. He's a tanky boy. Requiem Souls, fear per wave increased, and max duration increased as well. Wow, I think this hero's very good, and I'm not entirely sure why it's not being picked a lot, because I remember right at the start of the patch, people were picking it. It had like a 60% win rate. It's just that it was in amongst all of the chaos of all of the other heroes getting picked. So yeah, I'm not sure. I think this hero just kind of fell off because people were trying other stuff and they found some other broken stuff and they like stuck with it. Like I think this hero is underrated for sure. Like this is a broken hero, the Shadow Fiend hero. Sniper, agility gain, buff. So he's going to be peeping. A little bit of a buff. Templar Assassin has been nerfed. Oh, thank God they nerfed the Meld Bash. That is such a good talent. That is one of the biggest reasons why this hero is incredibly strong. So this is a good nerf. Tidehunter, Kraken Shell damage block has been increased. Wow. Level 12. Or sorry, 12 at level 1. That is very cool. That is very good. This hero is definitely going to be strong. I mean, if you just get Kraken Shell, the creeps do almost no damage to you at level 1. That's crazy. That is crazy. What a hero. Tiny tree grab, so the building damage has been reduced in the early levels. Actually, the later levels too. I mean, he just shreds buildings. That's like one of the biggest reasons he's a carry right now. Treant Protector. Now he has an innate Nature's Guise ability. Whenever you haven't taken damage in the last 3 seconds, you gain the ability to move through trees. While in the trees, you gain 25% more regen and heal, as well as 15% movement speed bonus. Wow, he just has built-in tree walking. Scepter now also causes trees to respawn every 10 seconds instead of the default 5 minutes. Damn, dude. Living Armor is now global again. Bonus armor has been reduced. Living Armor now heals over 12 seconds instead of 8. Living Armor total heal has been reduced from 60 to 180. Damn, dude. That is really good. This hero is going to be insane. I would be shocked if this hero isn't insanely good. All right, well, let's read the talents. 10% cooldown reduction to Nature's Guise Invisibility. Okay, so you get that at level 10. 60 living armor heal to 50 damage. I think you probably wouldn't go for the damage. I think this is basically guaranteed you have to go for this one. 15 talent, 90 damage to 60 living armor heal. Okay, I mean, that could probably be good on towers. Maybe level 15 is a little late for that. Level 20 gains tree walking to 15% cooldown reduction. That's cool. That'll make late game tree really good, especially with the Aghanim Scepter. So yeah, I mean, I think this hero is insanely good. I think this hero is going to be great. We'll see though. It is hard to tell. Tombstone, Undying. The rework kind of made him shit, which is fine. He was really good in the last patch, so I'm okay with this. But Tombstone damage has been increased from the zombies. Flesh Golem damage has also been increased. But I think innately, like with the rework, this hero just kind of sucks. So this probably isn't enough. Ursa, this is the top win rate hero in Dota right now. So strength gain has been reduced, and the mana regen talent has been reduced. That's not enough. That's not even close to enough. Vengeful Spirit. Vengeance Aura, attack range, reduced. Again, Aura, the illusion damage, the outgoing damage, has been reduced in the early levels, which is good because people were leveling this up later. So this kind of encouraged you to go more points in the Vengeance Aura. So yeah, this hero is an insanely high win rate. This probably isn't enough just yet. Venomancer. Oh, thank God. This hero is so boring. Poison Sting. Regen reduction now scales, and the Poison Sting damage is now worse. So this is a big component to why he's so strong, is how good this Poison Sting is for laning, and just in general walking through those wards and getting the Poison Sting on you. So this is a big nerf. I mean, now you can basically only level it up to level 3. So that's it for the patch. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I hope to see you in another video.